my lovelies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You're here with me, Sinead aka Siin Ciity, and in today's video we are going to be achieving this look. Stay tuned if you like it. I enjoyed doing it so much. It's inspired by the pretty little thing, none other than India Love. I came across it on her Instagram page and I thought I would basically recreate the look. As you can see, I'm super excited. So I'm going into my Shayla x Colourpop Perception palette and I went in with the colour Culture. So I used this underneath my eyebrows and basically just kind of used it because it's a bone colour and went in essentially and just blended that out. So I like using this colour under my brow bone and above my crease just because it's a really nice transition colour, and with the look that we're going to be doing today we would want something very subtle to be in our bridge of our brows before applying the full shade that we're going to be using. So to deepen out the crease, I then went into my contour powder palette via Revolutions. If I forget anything, I'm sorry, I will put everything in the description box below. But I went in and with the darkest brown went over the same areas that I had applied Culture just to give it a little bit more depth to my eye shape. So I went back into the Perception palette using the colour Spill the Tea. This shade is a pinky champagne colour. It's so beautiful. It's really, really nice. So I used a flat concealer brush to pat this into my eyelid, making sure that I got into all the spaces and just going into the inner eye. I also applied a little bit of it just above / on top of my crease line so that I had a nice kind of transition into the brown that we applied down on buffing it out. I did actually realise a little while later, which you will see, that this shade, upon checking the reference images, wasn't quite right, so I went in with another colour, but we'll get to that. So it was at this moment that I realised that the colour I just applied wasn't really the same colour that I felt like India Love had used or was close to in her photo shoot. So I then went in with Strut and Slay from the Perception palette, which is just underneath Spill the Tea. It's more of a rosé pink, and upon applying it realised that this very much was more of the colourway. So began to buff out the edges just to make sure that there was no harsh lines, because we obviously want this to be a smooth transition of colours meshing together, and then went over my actual eyelid as well with the same cut crease brush just to make sure that the colours were diffused nicely together. And on my other eye I repeated the exact same steps, so going in with Spill the Tea first, applying that with a flat concealer brush onto all of my eyelid and a little bit above my crease, and then applying Strut and Slay on top of that to make sure that the effect was the exact same. And I just felt like with having Spill the Tea underneath, it kind of gave more of that soft silvery colour come through. I then wiped it up with a clean wipe afterwards, making sure that I got rid of any fallout from underneath my eye and just obviously touching up my edges as well, making sure that everything was sharp and smooth. I am not the queen of eyeliner, I will be so real about that. Like, generally with me I can always get one eye come out better than the other, and as this was quite dramatic liner for me, I felt like it might just be easier to go in with a little bit of tape just to make sure that they were lined up and straight and going in the same direction. So I just used tape essentially. So just to make sure or eliminate there being any weird gaps where we had used the wet wipe before, I went in with the brush that we had been using and just went over where the tape and the eyeshadow met just to make sure that was all seamless, and then used my e.l.f. liquid eyeliner in the colour Jet Black to proceed carving out this wing. I then went in with the NARS Luminous All Day foundation in the colour New Guinea and proceeded to put foundation on my face and start building up my base. I'm pretty much going to go quiet because essentially this is just me doing my whole base, and you know what that consists of. I'll attach some links above so you can check out some previous videos of me doing my base and what the process is if you want to see it in a slowed down version. Hey, it's me again. So I did a little bit of concealing and went in with the Fenty Beauty Pro filter in my skin shade, which is 390, and then I went in and highlighted with the colour 370, just in case any of you may be wondering. So for inner highlight, I went into the Killwatt Foil Sandcastles and Hinted Mojito, which was a nice little freebie from my Cheeks Out haul from Harvey Nicks that I did in my previous video. And I went into the colour Sandcastles using a pencil brush and applied it to my inner corner. I actually love how this looks because at first I wasn't really understanding where the look was going, and then when I applied this inner highlight, it started to bring it all together for me before even applying the gems. So I really like this. I think it's a really nice inner highlight colour. And then I went in using just a Crayola or coal liner. Crayola, doing too much colouring in quarantine time, but coal liner just to make sure that we had filled in the gaps underneath before applying lashes. So my camera was just messing around, I'm not even gonna lie, so I actually filmed half of my first eye off camera and then charged it up a little bit and then came back to you guys and then started filming the second eye. So essentially all you'll need is some eyelash glue and some gems if you have them on deck, which you should do if you're watching this video and you want to recreate this look, because you're going to need them. And essentially just started applying them and making sure that I was following the shape of my eye, but also making sure that they were matched on the other side as well, which was a little bit hard, but I found if you just applied the glue and then put the little gem on your finger and pushed it on, that was a little bit easier than trying to pick it up with the tweezers. And then if you have to do any movement, then you have the tweezers on deck to maneuver it up or down a little bit before it completely dried. And you just want to make sure that you're pressing it on very gently, just in case you do need to move it, as if you kind of press it on like bam, it's going to be really hard to move it later on should you need to. And essentially this was me just kind of putting on the gems and creating the eye look together, which came across really nice, and I really did love it. I did find it such a chore though, and it is really tricky. You very much have to take your time with it, but that essentially was the sigh of relief that I had done my eyes. So I then went into my Cheeks Out Freestyle blush in the colour Summertime Wine and applied that to the apples of my cheek, and then went round the temples of my forehead as well, because I noticed it was quite high up in the images that I had. And I felt like this colour was very much doing the full justice. I feel like I'm saying that word so much throughout this video, but this colour was very much on point and was the colour that I feel like was quite similar to what had been used in the photo. And then I went on top of Summertime Wine using the Crush on Cupid pink as well, and applied that just to kind of give it more of a pinky and not so much of a berry tone. As those cream blushes are cream blushes. They do come out looking very fresh, wet looking. So I went over with my powder brush just to kind of get rid of that shine a little bit, and then went in using my Dose of Colours KT Time Desi collection. I think it's Chasing the Sun highlighter, I think that's what it's called, but I will make sure that I attach the names of everything down in the description bar below, and essentially went on highlighting the highest points of my face, so my cheeks, my nose, doing my Cupid's bow above my brows, and then a little bit on my chin. Okay, so you guessed it, my camera died yet again, but I also did think that it'd probably be a little bit easier for me to make a start on the crystals, as it's quite repetitive and it will be quite long for everybody to be sitting there watching me apply them one by one. But before applying the crystals, I noticed that she has some little faux freckles on. I'm not sure if they're her own freckles or if they're faux freckles, because in some photos she's got freckles, some photos she doesn't, but in this particular one she does. So I went in and added faux freckles using the same thing that I used to do my brows, which is a MAC dip brow pot in the shade brown. I think it's shade brown, or that's the colour, I'm not sure of the name. And then use my angled brush and use the tip of it to basically place them over my cheeks and my nose. So that's the crystal gems all done. So I then went in with mascara using the Better Than Sex by Too Faced to prep my lashes before applying my faux lashes on, and then I put on my faux lashes. The lashes that I have, they haven't actually really got a name. Essentially they're just like a multi-pack that I bought on like eBay, but I'll attach the link below so that if anyone is interested in them, they're quite long and wispy, then you can go grab those if you're interested. So moving on to lips, I just went over with a quick wet wipe to remove any foundation residue that may have been on them. I aligned my lips using the MAC lip pencil in the shade Cork, and then went on top of that using the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fussy, and I just love this little combo of lip liner and lip gloss together. It just comes out so nice. And that's pretty much it. This is the look pretty much done and completed. Stay tuned for me being extra at the end, but I love it. I love how it turned out. I had this on my face all day yesterday. I was up in the garden, like having a full sun glow time with it on. It's such a shame that I can't wear this look out, but I love it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Please be sure to leave me any comments below. Like this video, give it a thumbs up if you like it, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you to all my returning subscribers, and those of you are new, welcome and thank you. You can find me on Instagram at Siin Ciity, and stay tuned for my next video.